as I now bring in NewsNation Washington correspondent Hannah Brandt, who's live at the White House. Hannah, the president is calling the war a short excursion. I'm curious how he's framing the conflict to House Republicans this morning.
Yeah, Markie, the president saying short-term excursion actually several times yesterday throughout his remarks. But at the same time, President Trump is really making the case that he had no choice but to launch this operation in the first place. He told Republican lawmakers at a fundraiser yesterday Iran would have attacked the U.S. within a week, if not. Of course, a serious claim from the president, but the president also telling them the military operation is way ahead of schedule. He listed off claims about how the U.S. forces have sunk Iran's navy, destroyed its air force, wiped out its drone and missile capabilities. We've heard the same from the Pentagon, right? But the president said he doesn't think the operation is going to end this week. He did tell reporters, though, it will be over soon. Take a listen to what he said.
We're achieving major strides toward completing our military objective. And some people could say they're pretty well complete. We've wiped every single force in Iran out very completely.
So the president's comments that were close to the end here kind of seems to conflict with the message that we're getting from the Pentagon. Early in the day, they posted this, saying we have only just begun to fight. We've also heard Secretary Hegseth say we're just at the beginning of this operation. So we'll see where things stand in terms of the timeline here. But President Trump also notably commenting on the new leader of Iran, saying he was disappointed that the country chose the son of the late Ayatollah Khamenei as supreme leader. He says he believes that'll mean it'll just bring more of the same, though he did decline to answer whether that new leader is going to be a target for the U.S. Markie.
Yeah, that's a huge question this morning. And also, Hannah, the president is keeping his eye on these fluctuating oil prices. He's threatening to hit Iran 20 times harder if they cut off the world supply and prices go back up. What's the latest on that front?
Yeah, back here at home, we are all paying attention to those prices, right? Crude oil is back under $100 a barrel this morning, and that actually happened just shortly after the president said the war would be over. We saw those prices dipping soon, but President Trump says he's not going to let Iran hold the world's oil supply hostage now. He made those threats both at his news conference and then followed it up with this Truth Social post, warning Iran if it does anything to stop the flow of oil in the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. will hit them, quote, 20 times harder. Now, to try to bring costs back down, the president talked about how the U.S. is doing a bunch of different things, offering political risk insurance to tankers in the Gulf, waiving some oil-related sanctions, and the president has again floated the idea that the U.S. Navy may escort oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. But ultimately, President Trump is arguing this is a short-term problem because of, he says, the short-term excursion. And he says in the long run, oil supplies will actually be more secure without the threat of Iran, promising people that prices will ultimately be lower, Markie.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.